It's Ash from Super Videos, back for another one. In this one, we're going to be taking a look at the trailer that they released for Season 1 of The Walking Dead's third spinoff called World Beyond. So, of course, yesterday, it was The Walking Dead's panels for San Diego Comic-Con at Home Edition. So we had The Walking Dead's panel, we had Fear the Walking Dead's panel, and we had The Walking Dead World Beyond's panel. During the other two panels, they did release a teaser and trailer for those two other shows. I've already done my breakdown for those, but in this one, we will be taking a look at the trailer that they released for Season 1 of World Beyond, and I'm going to be breaking it down. Now, after this, I will be watching the entire panel for World Beyond and The Walking Dead, as well as Fear the Walking Dead, and I will be doing videos discussing certain things if there's anything to talk about after watching those panels. With that said, let's dive right into this. So the trailer starts with this shot of some sort of an explosion, and then we have some walkers walking around, and then we have this pretty awesome and gruesome shot of this walker being held up with wires around its arm. This is a pretty gory shot. I think this is before everything actually goes down. Like, this is when society is falling apart, and it's not like the current timeline in World Beyond, which is 10 years into the apocalypse. But I could be wrong about that. But I absolutely love this particular shot. And then we have this pretty cool shot of Iris. Iris is one of the main sisters from the group of kids that we're going to spend time with in World Beyond. So Iris and Hope are sisters. We see Iris here, she's looking out. She's either on the roof or on the balcony, and she's just looking at the community. So this is a pretty awesome shot. This looks like it's a pretty big community, so that's awesome. She has a telescope, but if you take a look at the bottom, it seems like she's keeping count of how many days have passed or something like that. So maybe she's just keeping track of how long she hasn't gone outside the wall or something like that. But this is a pretty interesting idea. And then in the voiceover, she says, "When I was just a little girl, I was jumped to living for the future." So she was very curious when she was a child, and she always wanted to learn about what's out there, what's in the world. Because as we know, the group of kids that we're going to spend time with have never been outside the wall. They've always been in the community. They don't know what it's like outside. They have probably never seen a walker, or at least they've never seen one up close. And they've definitely not had to fight walkers, which is very, very interesting. And then we have this shot of Iris again with the telescope on the side. And then we have a flashback with Iris and Hope as kids, or little kids. And I think this is when everything was going down and when society was falling apart. We have this shot as well. The dad is probably the one holding the hand of the kids and dragging them away. Then we have this shot, so it seems like they are separated. So Iris and Hope may have been separated as kids, and they've had to kind of find each other again, or something along those lines. And then we have this shot of the mother holding one of the sisters. And then we get this title coming this fall. Now we do get a confirmation of the date at the end. I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end, but it will be airing in fall. And it's actually going to be directly after the season 10 finale of The Walking Dead. Then we get this shot of Iris. She's talking to someone and says, "So how do I live for myself?" This connects back to what she just said, which is, when I was a kid, I always jumped at the idea of living for the future. So she's just saying, how do I live for me now? Then we get another title, a new series from the world of The Walking Dead. And then we get this awesome shot of the community. So this is the Omaha colony, which is the community or colony that Iris, her sister, and her friends are from. So if you look at the sign, it says Monument Day, commemorate tomorrow, Campus Colony of Omaha. So of course, the colony's name is Campus Colony of Omaha, and they are celebrating Monument Day. Monument Day is the 10-year celebration. So they've been at this colony for 10 years. So that's pretty awesome. And if you take a look around, it seems like there's a lot going on, which is awesome. So it seems like we're going to get a different type of show. It's going to feel very different than The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead, which is pretty interesting. But in the voiceover, Iris does actually say we're 10 years in now. So they're 10 years into the apocalypse. And then we get this shot of one of the kids that's friends with Iris and her sister. His name is Silas. it seems like he's just in school, and based on things that we know, it seems like he's bullied and he doesn't have a lot of friends. So it's going to be interesting to see how that's going to shape his character in the future. Then we get this shot of the actual celebration. So this is them speaking during the Monument Day celebration. So one thing that we did see in one of the leaked images was what we see here. Civic Republic, Portland, Omaha. Civic Republic, of course, is Civic Republic Military, the CRM, which is the colony that's attached to the Walking Dead Rick Grimes movies. And that colony is responsible for Rick's disappearance. They're the one that came in and took him away. Elizabeth, who we see here, Elizabeth Kublek, is actually the leader of CRM. She might not be the main leader, but she's a representative of the CRM, which is interesting. Portland, there's been a lot of speculation that Portland is actually Commonwealth from the comics, but we don't know that for sure. And then we have Omaha, campus colony of Omaha. And this is their celebration of Monument Day. So they may actually have a representative of Portland here as well. And then on the other side, it says 10-year Monument Day, remember, preserve, thrive. So just a slogan for them celebrating during Monument Day. And we actually do see Iris giving a speech. We've heard parts of her speech in other trailers. This is a pretty awesome shot of the celebration. I mean, I'm super excited to see this particular chain of events leading to the speech and everything related to the CRM. Now, based on what I've heard they talked about during the panels, it seems like World Beyond is actually going to be focused a lot on Civic Republic military. And there's going to be a lot of references to the CRM throughout the season, which is very interesting. But in the voiceover, Iris continues to say, 10 years and the dead still have this world. So they've been in this apocalypse for 10 years and the dead still rule the world, basically. And then we get this shot of the community again. Take a look at the car on the side. We do see the same symbol or the same logo that was on this sign here as well. And then we get this shot of the dead piling up in front of the gates of the campus colony of Omaha. And this connects to what Iris said. The dead still have this world. And then in the voiceover, someone says, and I think the person that says this is Huck, one of the girls that is connected to Felix. Felix is the security lead at the campus colony of Omaha. I think it's Huck saying this. Huck says, do you really think the world is going to end? Hope, Iris' sister, responds, I know it is. So this is probably a conversation between Huck and Hope. Now, the idea of the world ending in the apocalypse is a very interesting and funny idea. But it's true. I mean, to them, it's like the apocalypse never happened. So if something actually goes wrong and they have to go out of their community, it's going to be as if the world ended. So I actually really like the concept of that. And conceptually, that's very, very deep and powerful if you think about it. Then we get this shot of Felix. This is actually Felix. He's waiting for Elizabeth Kublek, who's the representative of the CRM, to show up. So the CRM helicopter shows up here. And then we have Elizabeth Kublek right there with the CRM soldiers in the back. We see the helicopter and the CRM logo there as well. And then we get this shot of the CRM soldiers shooting a bunch of walkers down. So we see them here and we see the helicopter on the side. And then we get this shot of Hope hugging her dad. In the voiceover, I think it's Iris saying our dad is in trouble. We have to help him. And then Hope says, to die? How are we going to help him if it's going to end up getting us killed? And then Iris says we could live. So this could be us being reborn. You know what I mean? So I thought that was pretty interesting as well, conceptually. And then we get this shot of them again. And then we get this shot of the kids or young adults actually leaving the community, it seems. So they're going out into the world now, which is pretty awesome and interesting. So in the voiceover, we have Elton saying, we have to be brave in this life we have now. And then we get this pretty awesome shot of the kids. So Iris, Hope, Silas, and Elton. Huck and Felix are not with them, but they may actually come after them. Like the kids may sneak out and Huck and Felix might have to go out there and look for them and bring them back. And for whatever reason, they may not be able to come back, or they may decide that they want to do something. They might want to go on a journey. They might want to go look for Iris and Hope's father, something like that. And then in the voiceover, we have Elton saying simply to exist now. So in this world, they have to be brave just so that they can live. And then we get this pretty awesome shot of the world, the outside world. We have a bridge that's falling apart. We have boats that are going down. We have like a post-apocalyptic setting, which is awesome. And then we have this shot of, again, the world outside, post-apocalyptic setting. In the voiceover, someone says, this thing we're doing, going cross-country, is big. I think this is Huck actually talking, but I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure it is. But this just goes back to their journey that I talked about. So at some point, Huck and Felix join up with the kids, and they decide together to go cross-country on this journey. Then we get this shot of the kids. Again, post-apocalyptic setting. I absolutely love this. I get a lot of Last of Us vibes from these shots, which I absolutely freaking love. Then we get this shot of walkers going into the water, and then this shot of the kids in a little island, land kind of thing in the middle of the lake or middle of some sort of body of water. And then we get this shot of Elton, and in the voiceover, I think it's Huck saying your friends, your sister, and then we get this shot of Iris. So I think this is Huck actually speaking to Hope. I'm pretty sure it is, because we see it here actually. But she says, they're all counting on you. So she's just trying to get her on board. That's what I think this is about. We get this shot of Hope killing some walkers. We get this shot of a walker trying to get to Iris. She's trying to fight her way. We get this shot of Silas fighting a walker. We get this shot of Huck with a military weapon and what seems to be like a military outfit, which is pretty interesting. The light goes out and that's pretty much it. And then we get this shot of some walkers and a leaf blowing with the wind. I absolutely love this shot, like the red leaf blowing away in the wind and the walkers in the back. I think this is pretty awesome. We get this pretty disgusting shot of a walker with flies coming out of his mouth. Then we get this shot of Iris with what seems to be like a weapon. In the voiceover, we have a dialogue from Felix. He says, there may not be something around the corner, but sooner or later there will be. So he's pretty much saying, there might not be anything to what we find at the end of this journey, but there will be at some point. So what we're doing is not going to be for nothing. Going back to the shot, we have Iris. She turns around, gets freaked out by this mannequin. Then we get this shot of Felix talking to Elton. And then this shot of Hope killing a walker. And then this shot of walkers approaching. And then this shot of the kids. And then in the voiceover, we have Elton, I think, saying what lies ahead is not going to be easy. Then we get this shot of Felix. And then we get this shot, which is pretty interesting. So it seems like they're putting wires around walkers so they don't actually get through, which is pretty interesting. This is a pretty interesting idea. I mean, to keep the walkers away. It's not going to hold, obviously, but it's just a short-term solution. Then we get this shot of Elton. He says, we're going to make our lives count, not because we're the last generation, but because we're the beginning. So this goes back to the slogan for World Beyond, which is the end of the world was their beginning. We actually see that slogan at the end of the trailer. Then we get this shot, which is pretty much what I said. So the title, The End of the World, and then later on it's going to say, was their beginning. Then we get this shot of them burning something down. Not sure if they're just trying to burn down the walkers, like a herd of walkers or something. And then we get this shot of the kids and flames in front of them. So I thought this was a pretty awesome shot as well. Then we get this shot of the kids running away. And then we get this shot of what seems to be a walker with a mask on, like a respiratory mask or something. He's obviously dead and it seems like he's burnt. And then we get this shot of walkers, and then we get this shot of some characters coming in, closing the door on the walkers and preventing them from coming through. And then we get the title, was their beginning. So the end of the world was their beginning. We get this shot of Felix and Iris in the background. In the voiceover, we have Felix saying, there's a big, beautiful world waiting for you out there. This still goes back to what he was saying. There might not be something to it at the end, what we're doing on this journey, but at the end of the day, there's a big, beautiful world waiting for you out there. There's something to be gained. And then we get this shot of Elton, and then this shot of Silas, and then this shot of Iris crying, and then this shot of Huck and Felix together. They hug. In the voiceover, we have Felix saying, go, fight for it, be brave. And then we have this shot of the sisters hugging. And then we have this shot of Elton killing some walkers. This shot of Iris. And then we get this shot of Hope with a stick or a weapon of some sort. Now take a look at what they're wearing. They're actually wearing jackets with the CRM logo on it. Felix is also wearing the same jacket. So that's interesting. Then we get this shot of Huck and Hope and some walkers approaching. This shot of Silas. This shot of Felix wearing the same exact type of jacket that I mentioned, but he's just killing some walkers. We see Elton in the background. We see Huck here killing some walkers. We see Iris here killing some walkers and Silas here. So just a bunch of shots of the characters killing walkers. So Elton, and then we have this shot of, I think, Iris, but I could be wrong, but they're just killing walkers. And then we get this shot of a walker, and then we get this shot of Hope again. And then right there, it's the same shot, but we do see the jacket a little bit more clearly that I mentioned. And then we get to the end. The Walking Dead World Beyond, a 2-season limited series or limited event, October 4th. So October 4th is actually when we're going to get the season 10 finale of The Walking Dead as well. So those are going to be back to back. So we're going to see the finale of season 10 of The Walking Dead. And then right afterwards, we're going to see the premiere of season 1 of World Beyond, which is pretty interesting. Now, like I mentioned before, they really wanted those two to be back to back. I don't know why. There could be 2 reasons. There is a connection. Like if you break them, you'll be losing something like that. So it could either be some sort of a clear, direct connection between those 2 episodes, just like the Fear episode where we had the Morgan crossover, or it could just be that they are making these 2 be back to back because they want to bring in as many fans that they can who watch the season 10 finale and have them watch the premiere of World Beyond. People who may not otherwise have watched World Beyond live. Something like that. But the other thing I do want to mention, World Beyond is actually a 2-season limited event. It raises the question, is World Beyond just a setup for the Walking Dead movies and just a build up for the CRM? I think that's a possibility for sure. But with all of that, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, press the like button. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe to join our community. And make sure to press the bell button to receive notifications about uploads. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.